Pope Francis says food and sex are divine pleasures? Ugh. What? West Point's teaching fake racism and homosexuality. Did you know that? And Jim Mattis thought Trump is unfit? It's crazy. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Thursday, September 10th, 2020. Stay tuned for hour two. It is 6:55 a.m. here in Los Angeles. I am James Hake with Hake News, not fake news. Sick things are being taught right now. Pleasures of food and sex. Simply divine, says Pope Francis. What a nutcase. That is a Drudge headline. Wonder what the Jesse Lee Peterson Show would think of that. The foreign French outlet AFP reports, shared by the far-left Yahoo News, it's too overzealous on the part of the church in the past. The church has been too overzealous on the issues of food and sex. Pope Francis says that in a book of interviews published Wednesday, pleasure arrives directly from God. It is neither Catholic nor Christian nor anything else. It is simply divine, Pope Francis told an Italian writer and gourmet chef type of a guy, I guess, Carlo Petrini. The church has condemned inhuman, brutish, vulgar pleasure, but has, on the other hand, always accepted human, simple, moral pleasure, he added. Francis, born Jorge Bergoglio in Argentina, said that there was no place for an overzealous morality that denies pleasure, something he admitted existed in the church in the past, but now he insists is a wrong interpretation of the Christian message. What does he know, right? He's a liberal, globalist, socialist, and he's ticked. What's he know about Christianity? The pleasure of eating is there to keep you healthy by eating. Just like sexual pleasure is there to make love more beautiful and guarantee the perpetuation of the species, the Pope said. Opposing views have caused enormous harm, which can still be felt strongly in today in some cases. The pleasure of eating and sexual pleasure come from God. That's a quote from him. He promoted some old movie to support his point. The spiritual so-called leader, Pope Francis is, of 1.3 billion Catholics around the world. Hopefully some of them think for themselves, singled out a 1987 Danish film called Babette's Feast as reflecting his message on pleasure. Set in the 19th century, the 1800s, it tells the story of a lottery-winning chef who invites a group of ultra-Puritan Protestant worshippers, ooh, interesting, to a sumptuous banquet. The film is a hymn to Christian charity and love, the Pope said. Wednesday's book, Terra Futura, Conversations with Pope Francis on Integral Ecology, was written by Petrini, who's a founder of the global slow food movement created in the 80s in opposition to fast food. The interview focuses on the Pope's vision of environmentalism with a social face, whatever that means. Sounds like anti-American communist propaganda. Outlined in his 1915 Laudato Si. Interesting, huh? Pope is also the guy who said, if a person is gay and they love God, they seek after God, who am I to judge? Something like that. West Point teaching critical race theory and queer theory. That means homosexuality. Revolver.news reports, not West Point too. Christopher F. Rufo tweeted, quote, as I revealed on Tucker Carlson Tuesday night, West Point Military Academy, that's in America right here, is now requiring cadets to read Critical Race Theory and Introduction and a critical introduction to queer theory in one of its leadership courses. This does nothing to protect our nation, he points out. And Drudge headline has a headline or a few, several, on the enemies of America attacking Trump. Jim Mattis allegedly said Trump is dangerous. He's unfit. He has no moral compass. And he's the one who supports Black Lives Matter, by the way, Black Lives Matter protests. This is from the sleazy Washington Compost dinosaur commie, Bob Woodward, who's written 2 books about Trump. One was called Fear, out a year or 2 ago. And the second one is called Rage, and I guess it's out now. And he's describing himself, not the president. But James Mattis sounds like he's betrayed Trump. What a ridiculous thing. I'm James Hake. Now on to Jesse, Hour 2.